everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Miss Mark. Boy, I feel really sleepy. I don't know what it is about this past week, but I just felt like I didn't wake up all week. It wasn't a particularly unusually busy week, but man, having a hard time keeping my eyes open. Anyway, so the footage you guys get to see in this video is of me inking the comic, which doesn't involve ink, but doing the line art. And one thing I did this week was I did the line art for the entire 10th episode of Chapter 4. And I mentioned this, I think, in my video to patrons, but I spent a lot of time this week feeling like I was behind or just not making enough progress. But I think one reason I felt that way is I specifically allowed myself to work in little increments, which means you make consistent progress, but you don't always feel like you're making progress, which is why I usually think, I prefer giant 5 to 9 hour drawing sessions. I don't think I draw that long all in once, but if you spend the entire day working on a drawing, it feels a little bit more satisfying than if you only got 5 minutes here and there. So this week, I think because I allowed myself to work in those little chunks instead of just waiting for big chunks of time, I almost felt like I didn't make any progress. I was genuinely surprised Friday when I looked at my iPad and I only had 2 panels left to ink. I actually thought there was a mistake or something. I was like, there's no way. I'm already almost done inking this chapter. And I had started coloring some of the other panels. It was really weird. I didn't realize I was making that kind of progress. But this was a good lesson for me to learn. As I've mentioned previously, I'm trying this new schedule that I set up for myself that will allow me to produce comic pages regularly and consistently and sustainably. So I was kind of surprised to find out that the schedule that I gave myself does work. It didn't feel like I made any giant leaps of progress, but at the end of the week I had an episode that was ready to go, almost. I didn't letter it because I'll do that later. But anyway, it was kind of the validation I needed, this scheduling thing, this breaking it up and assigning little tasks each day was kind of an experiment for me, because usually I just kind of run with whatever I'm inspired to work on, and then I avoid anything that isn't inspiring. So it was a bit of an experiment for me to create a schedule in advance and then actually stick to it. But then it worked, so it was a successful experiment. And it makes me feel so much more motivated going into this week to know that I have one success under my belt. I have an episode that came to life because of this schedule, so it makes me feel inspired and confident going into this next week. Anyway, I guess the moral of the story is that baby steps do add up. You can't draw an entire comic book in pages and chapters. You draw it one panel at a time. So, I was really excited when I got to the inking stage, though. I have to admit, penciling and kind of drafting is not my favorite stage. Inking and line art is still, hands down, my favorite thing to do. So, I was excited when I got to that. I will say the inking took longer than I expected, so I don't know what that means for my schedule going forward. The line art took longer than I thought it would, but also this chapter is longer than I initially planned, so maybe I'll just try to keep this episode is longer than I thought. So in the future, I'll try to be a little bit more careful about how many panels I put in an episode. They can't all be maybe quite this long. So, but overall, I think these first 2 weeks went well. The first episode came together pretty smoothly, and if I can just keep this up for another few weeks, I think I'll develop a habit and a routine that is really sustainable but also productive in a very good way. If you guys enjoyed watching this and you would like to see more like it, this past week I did upload another real-time inking video to Patreon, so you can hear a little bit more about how my week went, and you can also watch me in real-time ink another comic panel if you just would like some more of the same. I think these videos can be very relaxing to watch, so yeah, if you're interested, you can head over to Patreon. It's at the if you sign up at the $3 reward tier, then you get access to a whole bunch of other videos. So yeah, all right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week in another video. Bye.